Hi, this is Richard, KF5RHI from Fort Worth, Texas. This is a video on my backpack portable Yaesu FT-8900R. The pack, in addition to these three accessory pouches, were all purchased from separate vendors off eBay for the purpose of this setup. The first pouch has a Velcro fold-down panel for keeping your identification cards on you. Inside, I keep four 25-foot guy lines for my antenna masts. Pouch number 2 is a small toolkit type pouch. I keep a utility knife in there, nut drivers, and a couple of small sockets I use for that, and miscellaneous small pieces of equipment that I don't want getting lost. In the bottom pouch, I keep my multimeter and its cables, and also a repeater guide. It also has a waterproof map case, some spare cabling, and also some waterproof notepads, just in case I ever need it. On the left side of the pack, as you're wearing it, I keep some of my antenna parts. Telescoping whips from Buddy Pole. I also have a yo-yo antenna, a patch cable, 9-foot patch cable, and I also keep my roll of 550 cord. On the right side of the pack, as you're wearing it, I keep my scissor legs that I have screwed onto the frame so I can operate the radio outside of the pack. More on these in a little while. As you can see, there's also lots of MOLLE strapping for attaching any other gear that you want to add to it later. It's also got some nice padded straps on it. I just like this pack. I bought the pack and then built the frame that the radio is mounted to fit this pack. It'll only fit in this pack. Inside the pack, I have the frame that the radio is mounted on. I also have some extra gear that doesn't really fit in any of the pouches real well. This was designed by KF7ETX. He's on YouTube as USNERDoc. He designed this out of electrical conduit box and PVC fittings, along with a SO239 connector. This is what my telescoping whips from Buddy Pole screw onto. I also made this masthead, what I call a masthead, out of a scrap piece of PVC pipe and some eye bolts. I can take this and put these two together and then set this on top of my mast, which is Army surplus camouflage poles. I also have the cabling for my remote head on the FT-8900R. As you can see, the frame is 1-inch PVC tubing. That's all it is. The internal dimensions were measured, and this frame was built for this pack. I also took a piece of aluminum sheet metal that I bought at Lowe's and bent to fit the radio, or to fit inside this PVC frame, and mounted the radio to it. The radio itself is mounted separately on the corners, each of the four corners, with wing nuts, so that I can take this off and put it in my truck and connect it to the power supply by my Anderson power poles. I also have a 10 amp hour battery as its power source. The good thing about this particular pack is that it can also be operated while backpack mobile, while hiking around the neighborhood. This pack was made for a camelback hydration pouch. So it has a feed straw coming up through here, which is perfect for an antenna. It can fit right through there and come out, operate out of the top of the pack. You can operate on the move. With that in mind, I added this piece of scrap steel and a barrel head connector. This also can be taken out of the pack and operated in tabletop mode. Inside the pack itself, in the spot where the Camelback hydration system goes, is where I keep 50 feet of RG8X coax. It's very convenient just to tuck it in there out of the way, keeps it protected, keeps it anything from happening to it. These scissor legs that I mentioned earlier are fabricated out of 22 gauge steel I picked up at Lowe's, and just drilled a hole through the center and mounted a 3/4 inch nut and bolt through it. When I made this frame, I also put 2 T's, PVC T's, on the bottom and split them lengthways so I could snap them into place and tighten them up with hose clamps. They can now be rotated down, and I JB welded a nut on the inside of it to accommodate the bolt from the scissor legs. To assemble, it's really simple. Just screw the legs on. Kind of move that one out of the way, and then screw the other one on. Out of the way. And now you can stand the radio up and operate it from a picnic table or a workbench, as I'm doing here. As you can see, once you connect the power source, remember, red to red, black to black, not the other way around, the way I did it the first time I plugged it in. Everything sits all real nice and works just fine. Let me see if I can pick up something on one of our local repeaters.
Time I get done at work and get home, I'm done for. So, I ain't had time to water on the Wednesday. Don't want to water too much. Trying to get the roots to decide if they want to go somewhere besides stay on the surface, maybe help come to go in a little deeper, and maybe next year it'll be a little better, but you know, if it's dry.
Kilo Foxtrot 5, Romeo Hotel India, radio check. Kilo Foxtrot 5, Romeo Hotel India, radio check. Well, as you see, we can't necessarily get anybody right this minute, but I have used it in the past and it does work okay. It's just our local repeater, club repeater right now is kind of quiet. There you have it, a quick look at my backpack portable Yaesu FT-8900. Feel free to comment me or PM me and ask me any questions you may have. Keep in mind, this is my first attempt at scratch building anything like this, so I'm sure there's room for improvement. We'll see y'all down the road. 73s.